What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news and the touchiest topics with a hint of what, Terrence?
Good old humor.
Good old humor, man.
Yeah.
And humor is what we need in life.
Yeah. Welcome back, man. Welcome back. It's been a while since our last current affairs episode, right?
Yeah, correct. Just so happened, the Monday we released an interview podcast, some shit news broke in Singapore, which we're still going to talk about today.
Yeah.
But Monday was when it's still hot from the oven lah.
Yeah, and then the reason we didn't do one current affairs one is because we had the interview podcast with the woke salary guys, right? The woke salary people.
The woke salary men
The woke
lah.
salary people. Woke salary men.
Yeah.
Like the woke salary man. Yeah.
Man,
just
yeah.
To be fair. And yeah, I felt that was a banger of a podcast when a lot of people on Reddit and in personal DMs are like telling us they love that podcast. So if you haven't checked it out yet, I would highly encourage you all to check it out. But yeah, we're back here with our regular programming.
Yeah, our regular programming, just me and Terrence talking about the news, man. The news, the current affairs, the stuff Singaporeans and sometimes the world are talking about lah.
That's right. But before we jump to all that,
Yes.
there's one thing we want to plug today.
Yes. It is our Instagram account. So if you go to our Instagram account, you would see some stories that we posted while recording this podcast, and we're going to try and do more of that. Just give you guys maybe a little more peek into like what happens behind the mic and stuff, so that it's not just us posting when an episode comes out.
Yeah.
And just see how it goes from there, man. So
This is the Yalla Butt Instagram, right?
yeah, Yalla Butt Instagram. Correct.
Not to be confused with our blue tick Ministry of Funny Instagram.
Yeah, that's right.
I always have to emphasize that when I have a chance. I mean, come on, we barely got enough followers, but for some reason, Instagram gave us a blue tick very early on in
our Ministry of Funny account lah. Right.
in our career. So that's like probably one of the big milestones as a social media content creator.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever I need to do reach out or ping someone, I use the MOF account.
Slide into the DMs.
I'm like, yo, man, check out my blue tick.
You all know the tricks already. If you get a DM from the Ministry of Funny account, not from Harish, but Ministry of Funny account, you know that it's probably Harish there, not Terrence behind it.
No, but just to differentiate, in case people are wondering, like, why do we have two accounts? It's because Ministry of Funny, it's kind of like the brand, let's say our TV shows or folklore or stuff like that, and sometimes Yalla Butt as well. Yalla Butt is just focused on the podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
And Yalla Butt, our empire.
Yeah, Yalla Butt still needs to has a lot of room to grow, lah, right?
Yeah, still no blue tick yet. Still no blue tick.
Yeah. But let's hope the gods at Meta like grace us with the blue tick one day.
Yeah, the blue tick. The moment we get the blue tick, we know we've fucking made it already.
We made it, man. We've made it.
Made it, man.
Yeah,
we made it, but we're still on the way there. So check us out. The link is in the show notes.
No, and the truth is, we are going to start posting a lot more content next week, lah. It's not. We're not paying lip service, so
why the change, Terrence? Why?
Yeah, because we, the Tristan, the intern who's been working with us, he's been doing a good job of churning out content, and young people these days, they're so eager to just post stuff. Whereas maybe for people our age, we're just too like, oh, what are people going to think? And we're just too concerned about that, right?
Yeah.
And I think in the last month or so, we sort of, partially because we were also out of it for so, or at least I was out of it so long, we just felt like, wow, just being absent from social media and all that, it's just you just feel like so empty, right?
Yeah, like literally the talk we gave today at a junior college, which will probably come up in our discussion, there were like 800 or maybe even 1,000 people in the audience, and it was only after we left where we realized we didn't take a fucking photo.
Yeah. So
we like, shit.
We literally had to drive up to the front of the school again just to take the school logo and then post it on Instagram. That's how sad it was. Like we forgot to take a selfie in front of, when we were on stage in front of 1,000 people.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully the photographers there took some photos. If any students there who happen to listen to the podcast have photos, just help us out, man.
That's how
Yes.
sad our social media game is.
Yeah, correct. But it's up and coming. Hopefully. Blue tick within sight.
Yes. But
Cool.
yeah, what is this first juicy topic that we wanted to get into?
The first topic has kind of been brewing for the past week, lah. I think last week there were like you could see it boiling up on Reddit. And essentially what happened was during a sex ed talk, which was done at assembly at Hwa Chong Institution. Um, there were certain slides that were shown by the school counselor, not an external counselor, that painted a very negative picture of LGBTQ individuals with some wild statistics, and a student uploaded it to Reddit, just kind of saying, "Hey, there's this talk happening in Hwa Chong," and that Reddit went like viral, and soon people started talking about it, and then it made the news, and then Hwa Chong had to kind of address the issue. I think the principal gave a talk this past Monday, which is 18 July. The talk was given on 13th July. And since then, yeah, the counselor has apparently been suspended from giving more talks. But there have been a lot of discussions online amongst the LGBTQ activists, the general community, and as well as TrueLove.is, whose video happened to be shown at the end of that talk.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff has happened. I think the TrueLove.is statement only came out like 24 hours ago. We are recording on Wednesday, 20th July.
Yeah.
So we're here to talk about it, man.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there have been some conversations, or at least there are a lot of conversations about it on social media. You could check out pink.sg. They have a statement. You could go to truelove.is on their Instagram page. They have a statement about it as well. Like a lot of sites already have statements about it lah. But I think what we can discuss here is a little bit is about the how does something like that even happen? How is it that we talk about students being young, impressionable minds? How is it that something like that, which seems like you would never ever see a slide like this. You could never imagine a slide like this appearing in front of a group of hundreds of students, right?
Yeah.
From a esteemed private educational institution like Hwa Chong as well, one of the top in Singapore, right? Academically top, right?
Yeah.
So how does it get to this stage where this happened? That's why I think it's worth discussing.
Maybe just to give context for people who have not looked at the slide in detail, it's essentially I think a one slide under the term community health, and this was a sex ed talk, right? And basically it was like an array of stats where it's quite colorful. It features the pride flag, but the main title is nothing to be proud of, and then the flag, because it's playing on the concept of pride, right? So there were 10 different statistics that were just there. I'll read out some of them to you, and they each have associated sources for credit, right? So 58% of homosexuals have problems with intestinal worms. 1 in 15 homosexuals is a pedophile. 78% of homosexuals have STDs. And it just goes on it just a lot of these stats, like a lot of numbers. It's just like if you're a numbers person, you see like, okay, that's a good infographic. But it just felt very like, oh, okay, are these actual stats? Because it sounds a bit ludicrous. But the way it was painted was, okay, nothing to be proud of. So that was the picture that the student uploaded on Reddit was, from her POV, just, okay, this is what the slide is.
Is it not say nothing to be proud of? It says, what are LGBT so proud of? Question mark.
Yes, okay. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be proud of. Oh yes, that will come up a bit later also.
Or your bias, your personal biases.
Fuck you lah. No. I will explain the context of that in a bit when it comes up.
Okay.
So yeah, it was those sort of statements. What are LGBTQ so proud of? And your question was like, how could it reach that point? Because I think it has been verified that it wasn't an external counselor. That means this is
school counselor.
Yeah,
hired. That means he's under the payroll of the school, right?
Yeah, exactly. So he's a Hwa Chong Institution employee, and he's the school counselor. So the latest update, there hasn't been much said about the statement from the school, aside from accounts on Instagram. But apparently the counselor has been suspended, not from school, not from like being a counselor, just from suspended from giving any more sex ed talks. So I think a lot of people online, the general sentiment is like, how is it he's just suspended from sex ed talks when he was basically fabricating stuff? And I say fabricating because there have been a few very hardworking Redditors in Singapore who have literally gone down each statistic, pulled up the research reports, and generally like debunked a lot of the stats.
That means he's basically been caught telling lies, lah. This counselor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And just now when I said that thing about nothing to be proud of, people dug up that's a very similar slide with just that difference, nothing to be proud of, was posted on a Twitter troll account back on 5th June 2022. And it has been pasted on the We Are Against Pink Dot Facebook page before as well. So
Okay.
maybe it was like, okay, just theoretically, maybe the counselor was researching stuff and he came across this as a when you're doing research, you want to present something, you Google stats and shit lah. And when you see something like that, maybe he thought it was substantial enough, put it in his slides. So it just feels like, oh shit, is this one of those things that have just been floating around for use by anyone who wants to build up a case against LGBTQ individuals?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm asking the question because I'm just coming from the angle of like, like, how in schools, like curriculum and what exactly is shown to the kids and the students in schools, all that is like very generally quite fiercely policed, right? And we say that coming from even our own experience of having gone to schools, secondary schools, primary schools, polytechnics, and
Junior
then as of
college,
today,
yeah.
junior colleges.
Junior colleges.
Shout out to SAJC for having us
Yeah.
today, And yeah, generally, like there is, I wouldn't say policing, but there's definitely parameters that we're given, right? About what we are able to talk about. And if it's anything controversial, we are also, sort of given a little bit of not say warning, but like, just to ensure that, that we don't cross the line in certain instances, because at the end of the day, we are talking to kids below the age of 18, right? Mostly. And so for a school counselor like this to be able to put this slide in front of and like you say, it's all misinformation, right? It's misinformation against a particular group of people. I mean, whatever you think of them, whatever your views about them are, they exist. This group of people, they're a minority, but they exist. And to put up false information about them is at the very least, you say, is just not nice, right? It's reinforcing stereotypes. It's not nice, but I mean, to use more fiery language that you can find on pink.sg is damaging to the LGBT community, right? The LGBTQ community. So I mean, that's why I was just wondering, how does it get to this? And then I realized that it's not the first time that Hwa Chong Institution has had run-ins over LGBTQ issues being and how they are portrayed to students. All the way in 2014 already. There was an issue of Hwa Chong, the Hwa Chong Institute. There was a workshop run by Focus on the Family in Singapore, right? Which was chided by the public for supposed bigoted content after it was publicized by one of their students, right? The workshop was criticized for being very sexist and perpetuating gender stereotypes, and yeah, there's a bit of a hoo-ha about it. I do remember in 2014. So yeah, I mean, 7 or 8 years later, here we are again. It feels like, have there not been more safeguards put in place to prevent this kind of thing from happening, or is it just more of the same and all that, right?
Yeah. And Yeah, like yeah, I also found examples of that 2014 thing, which again the same thing like there was a student who kind of posted about a booklet uh that was given out to everyone who had to attend the program for which was mandatory for first year Hwa Chong institution students lah. And yeah, it basically portrayed girls as emotional and want security, needing to look attractive, while boys needed respect and all that. So yeah, it is very like what you say, like propaganda, like just bias as hell. So and but like so even in that case, it was an external vendor, right? It was an external vendor, and okay, so even for like our experience, like what you say, going to schools, because we are external vendors, we are always asked, okay, what are y'all gonna say? Do y'all have any slides to present? Just send it before. It's really like must submit to teacher one before, like literally, right?
Yeah.
I think this one, the tricky thing is, it was an employee, a counselor for the school, lah.
Mm.
So then, to me, the next question after that is that what made him so confident that in this day and age, he can show this at a cohort level talk, lah. Right? Because like even the video he showed from truelove.is, I mean truelove.is statement came out that they weren't even aware that it was shown. I
Yeah.
mean, that's their statement. No one will ever know the actual thing, but that was their statement. And if it was a case where this counselor acted on his own motivation and shared that, yeah,
Yeah.
then
I
it
mean,
becomes tricky, right?
yeah. Okay. Let's give the true love is guys the benefit of the doubt, lah, right? Let's take what they say at the face value, that they were not aware that the video was going to be shown at all, lah, right?
Yeah.
The one thing I did find quite surprising was that the video is damn fresh. It's like
Oh yeah, correct.
it's like less than a week old.
Yep.
That means this counselor, in practically within a day or two after the video came out, decided it was a good idea to show it to the students
It
already,
was
lah.
one day. The video came
One
out
day,
July
yeah,
12th. The talk
yeah.
was July 13th.
So okay, I mean, maybe he didn't inform True Love, or he's not in touch with True Love, or there's no involvement of True Love in his talk, lah. But one thing is for sure is that kind of content resonated with what he was, or he thought it would resonate with what he was saying in his speech or so, lah, right? And it's I mean, even on True Love's behalf, I would do a bit more to try and distance myself from this person's talk, lah.
Yeah.
Because like it's scientifically inaccurate, and it just really even for True Love wanting to reach out to more, what they say they want to reach out to more Christian LGBTQ members, right? And not say convert them, but to allow them to make their choice, blah blah blah. Even then, I think the association with this guy just looks bad, lah. If people somehow like what you said earlier, just almost implicitly assume that he has something to do with True Love, lah, right? But yeah, lah, it's just very nasty, lah, what he's posting. And if I looked at True Love, their statement on Instagram that they put out there. They spend quite a bit of it rebutting more of accusations of what they do as conversion therapy, lah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're not happy that a lot of people have called them out again, saying that, truelove.is conversion therapy. But I was hoping that that they would say more about the actual presentation itself, lah, right?
Yeah. Actually,
as opposed to focus on their own agenda, lah. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a very important point, because the thing is that the facts there, like I mean, based on the research that people have done quite substantially, it sounds fabricated, lah, right? And it's not even verified. So I think the icky feeling here is that, okay, the slides from an objective point of view fucked up, right? The fact that he could present it like that fucked up. But then for Hwa Chong to not even have a statement to kind of clear the air, and for True Love is for like what you said, like to be focused more on clearing their stance as opposed to denouncing the fact that someone just used fake stats. It's messed up also. And I cannot
Mm.
imagine if I was a student in the audience who is like identifies with LGBTQ. It's like, wow, the feeling must be damn shit. Because okay, the True Love is video also you watch, it is weird, man. It is weird as shit. And full
Why?
disclosure,
Why do you say it's weird as shit?
yeah, I mean, first, full disclosure, we have had them on our podcast.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Pastor Norman
If this blows your mind, I
uh,
would suggest go listen to it. And we had them on our podcast because we just wanted to understand them.
yeah.
And then we got Pastor Mark from Free Community Church, which is a church that welcomes even LGBTQ individuals. We had some
we had To Chen and Pastor Norman, right? From
True Love is.
they're not from True Love.
Oh yeah,
Is
from 316.
Yeah, from 316 Church.
Yeah, to talk about True Love is, we had Pastor Mark from Free Community Church to talk about how the there shouldn't be discrimination against individuals who are LGBTQ, and then we also had Sean from who's he's part of the community and also a writer about issues relating to this. So we've done it before. And I think one of the takeaways for both of us is like True Love is their marketing is damn good.
Yes, and this video is no exception. The video quality, the video production is really impressive, lah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's weird because it follows. I mean, it's about this one guy called Sean, who talks about how he was young, he had a crush on He-Man watching cartoons. He was very unsure about his masculinity. He went one extreme, became a male model, worked out a lot, and he just felt more and more unsure. But before he even wrote a post to come out publicly on Facebook. He said he heard the message from God saying that okay, it's simple, you're a guy, so you can't be attracted to guys. And he said that was the moment for him. He realized that he's whole. And that's the name of the video, and you watch it. It's very slickly produced.
But they never said that you can't be attracted to guys.
Oh yeah, but it's correct. I mean,
he says you're a guy, not gay. That's your label. Guy.
Okay, you're a guy, not gay. Correct. Yeah. And the whole message is we shouldn't be too quick to label ourselves as gay when it's more about figuring out who you are. And you watch it, you're like, oh my god, like I hope he's doing okay because and that's why True Love is they don't promote conversion therapy. Because
their statement was, a lot of it was just defending against that, right?
Yeah, because in some way, like what they're saying is that we allow you to have those urges, but we help you not act on it by accepting God it's just weird. And I watched the video, I'm like, fuck, how the hell can they show this to students?
Actually, just putting on the hat.
Yeah,
right?
please
not
do.
Not that I'm supportive of it or anything. But I mean, the argument is that they are appealing to a minority of a minority.
Yeah.
Members of LGBTQ community who want to more literally follow the teachings of the Bible, right?
Yeah.
Where homosexuality is a sin and all that, but they struggle with what they call what they're attracted to, right? And so in essence, I think if you recall from our conversation with the True Love, Pastor Norman and To Chen, was that it's not about there's almost a sense of dedicating yourself to God rather than letting the struggle of your sexuality define you, right?
Yeah.
So in some ways, I see how they are trying to appeal to a minority within a minority, right? A minority of people who don't want to follow what the rest of the minority is doing, if you know what I mean. Know what I mean. And they're not these are not the people who go to Pink Dot and proudly proclaim themselves LGBTQ or anything, right?
Yeah.
So in some sense, they are saying that there's this group of people who want to just do things their own way. That's how they want to, and they don't want to be judged by the rest of the community based on that,
Yeah.
So in some sense, the video also, I guess, is telling the story of this one person who he's a minority of a minority, and he's decided that this is what he wants his life to be like. It's a bit like I mean, I kind of see like someone like saying that I want to be, I sort of want to live almost like a monk like lifestyle for the rest of my life.
Celibate
right?
life. Yeah.
I don't necessarily celibate life. It's about everything. Like you want to be disciplined in all aspects of your life, like a monk, and wake up and dedicate your life to I don't know, being a servant leader or service to the world or something like that lah, or just attaining nirvana, whatever. And you just want. That's why you go to the mountains to do it lah, because you want to be left alone to do that in your own pursuit lah, right? In some sense, I see where they're coming from that way lah. Like they kind of just want the minority within the minority just wants to be left to do a thing. The only thing that I would say is two things I would say is that one is that it is fine to have that message that you want to be left alone to do your thing, but this video is meant to call more people to come and do this lah, right? And that kind of runs counter to let people do their own thing when you are actually actively promoting it to more people lah, to try and get more people to be part of it lah, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, that one a little bit of a conundrum lah, because it's like if your calling is to let's all just get off social media, but then you go and post on social media to tell people to do that, that's kind of strange lah, right? It's a bit
But
ironic.
in some way justified lah.
Some way justified lah, but
Yeah.
it is ironic lah, right? When you actually end up doing it. But second thing is that I guess content like this can become weaponized lah. Like in this case, someone who is obviously doesn't care about the accuracy of statistics and science and everything and statistics just takes that video and shows it as part of as the emotional ammunition that he adds along to his fake science and that's where I find that it's when people say wow, videos like this like what you said, like how can they show this to kids? I can see why people say I can empathize with the view that these things are dangerous as well lah.
No, let me clarify or build on the statement and say how the fuck can they show this to students?
Okay.
I'm with you in the sense, right? When I watch the video, do I want it to be taken down? Actually, no, and I think they do a damn good job hitting their target demographic. It wants to be on YouTube. People who resonate with it, watch it. I'm like, okay, you know what? You know your message, you know your audience. I don't think there's anything to censor. I totally see that. My statement was more like, how can someone show this during a talk at school? Because it is not secular. There is a strong religious component to it. Even if people want to show this in church, for example, right? Go ahead, okay? Because people opt in to go to the church.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm hearing a lot of personal animosity in the way you're saying.
Fuck you lah. Stop doing that, okay, Terrence?
Go ahead.
Stop doing that.
Just for the record, Harish is in a very happy relationship with with
someone I love very much. I'm going to be getting married in a Catholic church at the end of the year, and I have no issues with that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
Terrence,
please, go ahead.
Stop it. But if in future, if I happen to be in a church and they show this video, I'm like, okay, like, I'm not the target audience, and then to me that church is also something I don't want to go to. And like, I mean, yeah, like my fiance is Catholic, and I think 316 is Christian. So yeah, why are we talking about this? My point is, like, how can they to show this in school? That is the issue. Because you imagine you do the flip side, like you show another video that is anchored in another religion. Would it be as like tame as this? Like if someone showed a video, I don't know, like I don't want to name another religion, but some like espousing a way of life that is kind of encouraged by one religion over others lah. Right. So that's where it becomes tricky. And I think why it's easier for this guy to do it as opposed to an external vendor is he probably doesn't have to show what video he's going to present during the talk lah.
Yeah. And it's crazy. This is not even like Catholic junior college or Catholic high. And I say that because I was from Catholic high primary, and I kind of do remember when I was like in primary school, during Good Friday and all that, there was this there was bombardment. Sorry, I used the word bombardment of a lot of Good Friday-ish kind of messages to the students and but that was like, I mean, that was the 90s, early 90s and all that. It's a different era right.
Yeah.
And I remember specifically it was my science teacher who was the one telling us about Good Friday and all those things, like in the hall. So the irony of it is just it's not lost on me as I'm older today,
Yeah.
But yeah, this is Hwa Chong Institution. And you would imagine Hwa Chong Institution, we always say, wow, Hwa Chong Institution. Man. Last time we always say, wow, very Chinese, everything. And but yeah, they're really, going all out with I mean, at least this counselor is going all out with the religious propaganda from the West, right?
Yeah. So it's one thing about not being able to control what someone does at a presentation. If like someone goes to present at a school and halfway through pulls down his pants, I mean, to a certain extent, you can't blame the school, right? You can't verify, are you or are you not going to pull down your pants during the presentation? If they ask that question, it'll be impossible, right?
Yeah.
But what a school can do is after shit like that happens, take a stronger stance,
Yeah. I mean, I thought just suspending the counselor from doing sexual what was it
sex
called?
ed talks,
Sex ed talks. Yeah.
Sexual.
Sorry for this slip.
Yeah.
Yeah, sex ed talks is, I mean, yeah, it goes beyond sex ed already. What like what you say, it goes beyond sex ed already. What he was showing, the video he was showing goes beyond sex ed. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, if he's a counselor, I assume that he counsels students. Right? And I assume that these counsel sessions are not happening in a public setting. So who the hell knows what he's talking to the students about in private?
Yeah.
So,
right.
And I mean, like the latest from Straits Times today is that they have contacted MOE for comment. No news yet. I think what happened in 2014 after that issue of that another Hwa Chong incident, the MOE ended the relationship with focus on the family for no reason.
Yeah.
So you can, I mean, if you connect the dots, maybe it has something to do with complaints against that organization. For this one, MOE also needs to take a stance, man, because literally in their their scope and teaching approach for sexuality education, it says, it goes like this presentation goes against a lot of the things here.
Yeah. So actually, maybe you just made a very good point, in that maybe people are saying, this kind of thing is not my pasa, why should I care, right? But if you have a kid who's in school, would you be okay with him being exposed to religious text and religious messages, right?
Yeah.
And if you're not, then this issue affects you. It's not so much about the LGBT aspect of it, because basically this guy was just spouting, fake stats, But I think the larger thing is like, how do we keep our schools secular, right? That way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe in the next talk we also come with our counter videos,
Videos.
as in we show videos also. There's just like to counter videos like this,
Counter videos.
No, I'm just saying that we.
Oh, okay.
During our talk also, then our next talk we just spring some unsurprised thing,
But we show our old prank videos, we see how the school reacts to those.
Yeah, go to primary school or something, or secondary school and show this. But yeah, I mean, ultimately now the staff of Hwa Chong Institution also who might be very against this, they are going to be tainted also because the school hasn't made a strong enough stance.
Yeah.
Like one recent thing that I saw, which I was like, hey, fuck, that's damn smart, was apparently there was this traveler from Singapore who was not allowed to enter Australia because she was carrying a Subway sandwich or something, because Australia is very strict about the food that you bring in, right? Subway just gave her a $2,500 voucher.
Wow.
And that to me is service recovery at its max, even though the initial thing had nothing to do with Subway.
Yeah.
They're like, okay we like you win over the customer trust,
Yeah, that's
so
right.
in this case, Hwa Chong, come on, man.
Yeah. So what, they should give a gift card for free entry into our next all Hwa Chong counseling sessions or something
No,
in the
the
future.
fuck. No, they give vouchers for external counseling
Oh,
sessions.
okay. I thought if you were
Yeah.
saying about service recovery, I'm like, what?
No,
What
no,
do they
no.
do?
No, that's fattening up their own pocket or like tooting their own horn. They're like, no, okay, students, don't worry, this counselor is going to be suspended. If you need counseling, here are vouchers for some external counselors.
Got it.
Yeah, just give vouchers. Hwa Chong, give vouchers for counselors
Yeah.
outside of your school for now.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a we've again we talk a lot about the true love, this side of things. And would encourage people to go and listen to our True Love this old podcast.
Yeah.
We'll put a link in the description also, right?
Yeah.
To sort of see their perspective of things and understand why we said what we said also, lah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, just look online. We'll share some links in the show notes. It's just the state of affairs now is just sad lah, because it's just turning like it's just yeah, it's damn divisive now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But Hwa Chong, MOE, I hope they fucking say something more public lah.
That's right. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, but I mean that kind of also leads us to
Oh, how long we haven't do current affairs? Your segue game. Come on, Terrence.
Yeah, to be honest, honestly, I have momentarily blanked out on what our second topic is really.
It's that insignificant. It is that insignificant.
It's quite a fun topic, lah. It's quite a fun topic. That's what I remember.
It's fun, lah. It's fun.
Yeah. So what is the topic? The second topic.
The topic is that a recent unknowing person, or a recent TikTok video that went viral featured a prominent TikToker kind of going up to this woman in Melbourne who was sitting down at a cafe, and the guy asked her, "Can you, sorry to bother you, could you hold this for me for a minute?" So he passes her a bouquet of flowers, he puts down his bag, he puts on a jacket, and he says, "Have a lovely day," and walks off. And there's like some sweet music in the background, and it's seen as like one of those random act of kindness TikTok videos lah. And it got like millions of views because I think the guy has a decent following. And that lady whose face was in full view has since come out saying that, okay, she actually felt dehumanized and humiliated. Which is a bit counter to what like you would imagine lah. Right now, people like, wow, when you go viral, it's almost like a badge of honor and like, oh my god, you went.
Yeah.
She went viral. The video has been watched more than 62 million times within a month. And the caption is, "I hope this made her day better."
Yeah.
So a lot of positive comments, but then she told ABC Radio Melbourne, because I think she was invited as a guest, that these artificial things are not random acts. He interrupted my quiet time, filmed and uploaded a video without my consent, turning into something it wasn't. I feel he's making quite a lot of money through it. It is the patronizing assumption that older women will be thrilled by some random stranger giving them flowers.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it was interesting lah, because there is a lot of that kind of videos online. One of my friends also sent me, "Hey, remember last time your video you give roses to women on the CBD?"
No, yeah, in fact, I was going to say that we are maybe one of the few people specially placed to talk about this topic in Singapore, right?
Yeah.
Because we literally have done a video about giving roses to strangers in public.
Yeah, which went viral as well when we uploaded it back in 2015. And that was just us poking fun at how, like, on Valentine's Day, Terrence and our team just filmed me with hidden cams, me going up to women on the streets at Chevron House in the CBD offering a flower, and I got rejected, I think 16 out of 17 times. And then we went to Heartlands, we gave it to some McDonald's auntie, some other aunties at the petrol station, and everybody loved it.
So when you saw this thing, like, what was your most immediate reaction when you saw the headlines and the basic idea?
I mean, I can totally understand where she's coming from. And honestly, when I see videos like that on TikTok also, I'm like, okay, do these people want to be in your video? And I hope you get their consent, which in this case apparently he didn't lah. What
No,
about you?
apparently, I think it's not only that it was done without her consent. I think she said that she literally asked the person who was filming, are you filming that or something? And she was told no. So she was, I mean, it's not even about not getting their consent, it's about being lied to about whether that is going to become a video lah. And that's where I feel that it's even, it goes one step beyond just like, oh, he didn't get her consent for it. You know, it's literally like, yeah, he's just lied to her just so that they can achieve the ends of getting a video lah. You know, thinking that otherwise she might not allow them to lah. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you saw the video, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that there's this assumption that, you know, just because it's in public or what, that it's totally okay to just film anyone and just upload the videos online. But the truth is, there isn't, you know, and people have the right to privacy, even if they're walking around public. They have a right to not appear in your video, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that we took a lot of pains to do last time when we were operating on the streets, doing a lot. When I say operating on the streets, it means sound like we were drug dealers or something last time when we walked the streets, right? But we took a lot of pains to make sure we ended up getting like written consent of people who appeared in our videos lah.
Yeah.
Even for this kind of like passing interactions where we were just giving a line or something like that lah, right?
And some damn good reactions also.
Yeah, there were very good reactions we have in our bag that they said, no, I don't want to appear in a video, and we respected that. We took them out of the video lah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or if it really push comes to shove, like for some reason we weren't able to get the consent because they ran off or something like that, we would do anything we would remove any identifying markers of them in the video, blur out the face or anything like that lah. So even to us, that's not the best approach also lah, because it's still sort of taking it without someone's consent. So we did that very, very minimally lah. But yeah, I can totally empathize with what this person is saying. Although some people are like, but isn't she overreacting? It's just a nice gesture getting flowers. But I mean, you know, in this day and age of COVID and all that, people giving you stuff in public isn't necessarily good for you. Later the flowers got COVID on it or something.
And honestly, not every woman, not every girl likes flowers. Right. And like, even you have no idea where she was going during the day. And what she said, actually, even if you look at it, okay, now is a he says, she says things. Maybe there might be some people who totally love getting a bouquet of flowers randomly. What she said about him potentially making money is true.
Yeah.
He got 65 million views. Chances are, I mean, TikTok, I think their monetization is not there yet. But ultimately, being a content creator, the more people see you, the more like your following grows. You could translate that to money and income lah. So in this case, all these nice things, I don't know lah. Maybe it's just me getting more cynical over the years. It's like okay, like then you do it for the lady, but it's also clear you're doing it for your own following. But then the argument is, okay, this is one person who got annoyed, right? But 65 million people watched it. Let's say even 1% of those 65 million watched it and had their hearts warm lah. That is 650,000.
Yeah.
Is that not a worthwhile compromise or not? Terrence, one person you piss off to make 650,000 people happy.
But then ultimately the person at the core of it is unhappy, right? So aren't those people who watched it and got their hearts warmed also, aren't they sort of also complicit in making her feel like that, you know what I mean?
Terrence, many times on this podcast you have made me unhappy, but the people are entertained.
I have made you unhappy? How so?
Yeah, I don't want to go into details. No.
It's a two-way street.
You shit on my one Shiok thing. Okay,
it's a two-way street.
So I've made you unhappy also. You have made me unhappy. But then people listening to
entirely with your consent that I'm doing this. Entirely with your consent that we're talking about how excited you are about, like getting married and everything also, right? When we talk about it.
That is true. It is entirely
Exactly.
with my consent because after this, or like, yeah, I will post it on social media also.
Yeah, you'll post it and you'll be so laughing about it and tagging your fiance and everything, right?
I mean, no
So
lah, I wouldn't tag my fiance lah, but yeah
yeah.
lah. But yeah, so that's where it gets tricky lah because he's done a lot of videos like this,
Mm,
and generally people react very positively lah.
mm,
It's just like, okay, so there was once, right, a few years ago, I was at a Orchard Road bus stop, and I
mm,
remember it was kind of like raining, and it was a bus stop outside Concord Hotel where a lot of buses stopped. So there was this
mm,
group of young students. I believe they were all wearing t-shirt from their ECA group or something. And every time a bus stops, like four of them would go up. One would give a drink to the bus driver. One would take a video. Two would take a video or something. So like could see they were very excited to give the drink to the bus driver. But
mm,
there were like 7 buses at any given time that were
mm.
held up.
Oh, seriously?
Because the bus stop, it's along Orchard Road, it's fucking busy, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Then
yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking, okay,
So
it's a nice.
they were doing it for to put on social media lah, basically.
I don't know. I do recall them recording, and it felt like one of those. Okay, they mean well, but hello, you are holding up these buses. There
Yeah.
are people who can't get off, and it was going on and on. Even my bus was like, I was like, okay, drink, okay, yeah, give a drink, and I was sitting there also. I was like, I mean, you're trying to do nice things, you know, their heart is in the right place, but hello, can you look at the fucking reality of things? And maybe it's just
Mm.
something that, you know, the youthful idealism that everybody might have. As you get older, you're like, okay lah, like the net benefit, is it really a good thing lah?
Yeah, I do think about that lah. Whether it's just that we are getting like
Older and
old
cynical.
and old fogies and you all did this in your youth. Then now when people do it, you say it's not good. No, but the things we really put in place those parameters where we had to ask people for permission lah. Because I think overall I would say that there's a lot of unprofessional uh, uh, practices within the media industry as well. People not getting consent for certain things and all that. And overall, we always felt like if we wanted to stay on top of the game and be one of the main players, we also had to live by a certain code, set a certain example. And then even if other people were not taking, not getting consent and all that, doesn't mean that two wrongs make a right, right? We wanted to do things at the to the best extent that we could do it in good faith, right? Whether it's treating the subjects of our videos with respect and everything also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was a lot of times that you and I had debates about, can we really do this, or is it not right to do this, and how will this person feel about it if we do it, and things like that, right? So yeah, I mean, I just feel like I see a lot of these on the street videos these days. I mean, I admire the hustle because I see a little bit of ourselves in that as well, right? In these young people, but at the same time, I feel like they they do need to step back and think a little bit about the ethics of what they're doing as well,
Suddenly this is like shooting ourselves in the foot. Suddenly someone listening to this who happened to be in one of our videos, they're like, these fuckers thought I was happy to be in their video. Sure, I gave consent, but now I'm not happy.
Yeah.
Then let's have a conversation, man. And like, if you really felt unhappy, then we can find some way to. I mean, I'm pretty sure no, because we really made it a point. Sometimes, to my own just like, fuck, do we have to do this? But we made it a point to get consent and make sure that even if they didn't give consent, we mask their face, change their voice and all.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, but so, I think the online landscape also has changed, right? Now everybody creates so much more content in general.
Yeah. So that's where maybe technology has to keep up as well, right? We laugh about things like, if you wanna whatever you want to do next time, you must get consent, and then there'll be an app for it that you pull up before you go on a hot sexy date with somebody, that kind of thing, Like, do I have consent to hook up with you, that kind of thing. We laugh about these kind of things, but the truth is, technology is a big part of everyone's lives now, And maybe there needs to be better technology even for production as well. That you know, that there's always there's literally an app that you can pull up to try and get you know, to officially certify someone's consent with a fingerprint or something like that.
Hey, Terrence, how many apps I asked you to download and try? I have to spend like 3 months. I have to write like white papers, present to you like, hey, can you try this app and all? Then you're like, yeah, no need, no lah, yeah, I don't believe in the cloud, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And then here you are asking people to use apps or. I think that's the tricky thing, right? It's like, do you really have to do it? And the more people don't do it, the easier it is to not do it.
Correct. I guess maybe at some point our society will shift towards a world where we don't believe that anyone really has a right to privacy anymore. I mean, since already your data is probably on the cloud and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Then I mean, Singapore in some ways we're already experimenting with that, right? The idea of like not being able to walk around naked in your own house, because if someone sees you naked in your house, you get in trouble, right? Things like that. So there are small pockets of the dystopian future that you can already see in Singapore. Surveillance and everything. Yeah.
There's a department in the government saying, okay, like how many people are getting caught for still walking around naked? Singaporeans are taking well to this rule, and we have seen a decline in cases of people being seen walking around naked in their house.
Yeah. Trace together. Come on, trace together. The ultimate invasion of you know, our privacy that we all consented to in the last 2 years or so right?
Yeah, I don't. Is it still tracking us? Like my Bluetooth is on, so it's still tracking us. It still is, right?
If the app is running, I suppose.
But the app is running in the background,
I mean, no, not necessarily.
I mean, you can turn it off, you can turn it off. I bet there's still so many people who just have been giving this data unknowingly.
I mean, for us, did we have to use the Trace Together again recently when we went to like Fucker Fuzz's comedy show?
Yeah, we did at Esplanade.
And it was such a such a jarring experience because I totally forgotten about Trace Together and how.
I think you asked me what is the name of the app.
Yeah, exactly.
You really just wiped it off the slate of your memory.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm just saying is that it needs to reach a certain point where almost all of society says, okay, fine, we're fine with in the future that if I appear in your video is my pasa already I was in public, so that's what it is. I just have to accept it. This is how it is.
It's like when you're born, you got birth certificate and you have to sign your consent form as a baby.
Correct.
Your tiny handprint. I give consent to all future content creators to feature me in whatever videos they make.
And you don't even need to like physically sign it anymore because your birth certificate is now all digital.
Correct.
So that's what I mean by technology can help to make this process easier.
I mean, if Google wanted, right, they could literally say, okay, if you can verify that you own your face, we can wipe it off. We can scrub the whole internet and blur it out. They can. They can do that. Will they ever do that? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
But yeah, wow. I mean, I guess if the lady wants to get her, she should ask to have her picture taken down from the video.
I mean, apparently the creator himself said, I think via a spokesperson, he apparently said that he wholeheartedly apologizes if she was offended by what he did and urges her to contact him privately so he can personally apologize. If she requests him to take down the video, he will do that. At least there was that. I don't know what will happen after that.
Yeah. Okay I mean, not too bad. At least.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
He learns from this.
He redeemed himself.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Cool.
So, what is your one Shiok comment of this week?
My one Shiok comment is a meme on our Reddit made by the small boyo. Shout out to the meme they created. It was just kind of like poking fun at the I guess radio duos who have existed over the past few decades. I guess the Flying Dutchman and Glen Ong, the Muttons, and then us. And beside it is like just a meme saying that okay, like that they want to see the true comedy duo. So I saw that, I was like, warmed my heart, man. It warmed my heart. I mean, in the sense, the meme is kind of like saying that okay, now like just saying we are the true comedy duo. So shout out to the meme, man.
But to me, slightly different format also, right? I guess.
What do you mean?
In that they're on a national broadcaster.
Yeah, correct.
They had rules to follow, and they they have the right to also. I mean, if you have the rights to play a lot of different music from all over the world, if we were radio DJs, I'm sure we wouldn't say, "Oh yeah, we're never going to play music" or so, right?
Yeah, correct.
I'm sure it'll be a big part of our offering as well,
Yeah.
So
And I mean, like, even another commenter on that post just said, that's right, the only duo without any IMDA restrictions. Can you imagine if we had IMDA restrictions? Walao, I can't even fucking say this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's why I guess they were the kings of their medium at one point. Hard to compare with what we're trying to do today, which is to, I mean, we're really about building a community of people who have conversations and ask difficult questions of each other, but come together to get and still are all friends at the end of the day as well, right? Which I don't think I don't think that's the agenda of your 987 or 913 or anything like that,
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
But speaking of conversations and disagreeing and everything, I think going back to episode 309, where we talked about the grab issue, right? My one Shiok thing was about Spider-Man being screened in Singapore, being on Netflix in Singapore.
Wait, this is one Shiok comment or one Shiok thing?
One Shiok comment. One Shiok comment.
Oh, one Shiok comment.
I had commented, my one Shiok thing was about Spider-Man, right? Remember?
I see.
So the comment is from Spider-Man 015, who basically has corrected me about all the shenanigans in the Hollywood licensing industry and why Spider-Man is showing specifically on Netflix in Singapore and Southeast Asia. Yeah, so I think I made a mistake saying that it was Paramount who doesn't have a streaming service, but actually I should be saying Sony doesn't have a streaming service in Singapore.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I like it when people have a good handle of what we're talking about and also come and give us the correct facts. If not, I'll be just putting up false facts like the Hwa Chong, like the Hwa Chong, what do you call it, counsellor as well.
Counsellor, correct. And the username is actually Spider-Man015, and you spoke about Spider-Man. I'm guessing this person is a huge Spider-Man fan.
They needed to correct me about Spider-Man. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, correct. Needed to correct you about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yes.
All right. And then on to the one Shiok thing. What is yours, Terrence?
My one Shiok thing is why don't you go ahead first?
Okay. I chanced upon this article by Mark Manson. I think he previously mentioned had one Shiok thing a few months ago about the book that he wrote called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. So I chanced upon this article titled Personal Values, How to Know Who You Really Are. It sounds damn airy-fairy and all, but if you have ever read his blog posts or read his style or his books, he has a very nice way of writing in the sense that it feels like it's not too preachy. It's like, like it's a cool way of talking. It's more street, and the article is just like talks about how it's important that everyone figures out their own values and what they stand for, and even almost breaks it down into like how to think about it. And when I saw the title, I was like, oh my god, is this going to be like, let me just give it a shot. But I read it and I'm like, wow, this guy can write. And it was just a thought-provoking post. And just explaining why values are important, because you are what you value. And like ultimately, your values bleed into every aspect of your life. And if you're saying you value this, but you don't act that way, is there a point to it? And I just thought it was, by the end I read it, I was like, oh, that's very thought-provoking. And it's an easy read. I think the most important thing is an easy read.
And what was your biggest, number one takeaway from it?
I mean, the takeaway is that I think it is important to always ask yourself that throughout your life. It's not just when you're young you do it. And yeah, I mean, even like now I'm getting married soon. When I first got into a relationship and like just things, it's important to just take a pause and always ask yourself this and see whether something needs to be calibrated. Because values will change, values will evolve. But I think just remembering that if you say you value this, you look at your actions also and see whether they connect. Because if they're contradictory, if it was just one of those, like after my early morning walk, having coffee, I was reading it, I was like, interesting. Yeah, man. That was
I
my one
see, I
Shiok
see.
thing. Yeah.
Nice. Well, my one Shiok thing is video from the YouTuber Tom Scott.
Mm.
Don't know if you know. I think he's British or something, right?
Mm.
And he does quite interesting videos about
Yeah, I think I know.
interesting places and like about the things around the world, about interesting nuggets about of places in the world. And he recently made a video called I Visited the Yellowstone Zone of Death, which is a really interesting it's an interesting part of Yellowstone National Park in the US, where because it's sitting at the border of two different districts, Wyoming and Idaho, you technically you could get away with murder if you committed a crime in Yellowstone, because in that part of Yellowstone, because the technicality is that if you commit a crime there, you have to get a jury to convict. You have to get the jury to convict you or whatever. That is made out of people who live in that zone, lah. And there are 0 people who live in that zone.
Shit.
So yeah, so it's a legal loophole that exists until today that hasn't been closed. And so yeah, he actually visits the place and does a video there, just talking about it, talking with a legal expert about it, and it's just very interesting, like how just just changing 1 or 2 words can actually could fix this whole problem. But the Americans, the Constitution, everything just just it's just so there's just so much inertia to actually make these changes, lah. That it's that this legal loophole exists even today, lah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
So it's a very interesting little interesting nugget of information.
And how do you chance upon it? Because you subscribe to him, is it?
Yeah, I subscribe to him. So I think he has like videos every week, and it's just about an interesting nugget or fact or that something about a place that is just like very fascinating, lah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that is cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, man. That's all for this episode. And we'll talk to y'all soon.